Oh, I got makeup in my eye. My eye is turning red. Both of them, oh my goodness. It's been like 2 weeks since I recorded and I forgot how to be on camera. Hello there. Star Wars animation is king. If you haven't given Star Wars Visions a shot, let me put you on. If you're new here, my name is Crystal Kyber, as in Kyber Crystals, and welcome to my channel. I am so glad you're here, and I'm so glad that you want to hang out and talk about Star Wars Visions. If you're a returning viewer, hi, how are you? I'm so glad that you're here. Let's do my Star Wars mug of the day. It is this All Ships Are Valid mug from my friends over at the Pink Milk podcast. And I'm drinking this tangerine probiotic sparkling beverage. It's pretty good, it's really mild, so I like that. And as always, if you are interested in what makeup products I'm using, I'll have them listed in my description, so you can check it out if you want. Star Wars Visions is an animated anthology series of shorts, kind of like Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. Each episode is made by a different animation studio, and they're not canon. And by not canon, I mean that they're not part of the official Star Wars timeline. What's special about season 2 is Lucasfilms invited studios from all around the world to contribute to this season, and I think that it makes such a unique and special telling of Star Wars. Personally, I think that Star Wars really thrives in animation. I think that animation is such a rich medium for storytelling. My threshold for the suspension of disbelief is even larger when I watch animation because I feel like there's no boundaries or limits when it comes to exaggerating characters, stories, even emotion. Animation is really the place where Star Wars thrives within that. In this video, I'm going to rank my favorite Star Wars Visions, all 9 episodes. I think that it'll be really fun. It was really difficult to rank them because I loved a lot of them. There's some really standout ones, to me at least, and I think that my ranking might look different than your ranking, and I think that's okay. In fact, I would love if you told me your top 3 Star Wars Vision episodes in the comments right now. With something like Star Wars Visions, where every episode is different and it's told by different people, I think that it's cool that we all kind of relate to the episodes differently and how we attach to the different episodes. They're so different in genre and taste and tone, and I really think that there's something for everyone. For me personally, I do like the more serious ones, and I like the ones that feel like Star Wars to me. Okay, starting with number 9, my least favorite, and this might be a surprise to some of you because I know when I posted about it on Twitter, so many people told me they liked this episode. For me, number 9 is In the Stars. I want to start off by saying that I do like the character designs. I thought that they were really interesting looking, and how the older sister had like a change in her appearance as she grew into the person that she became. I also like the way that the Imperials looked. They looked pretty menacing, if you ask me. And overall, I felt like this episode did feel like I was watching an episode of Star Wars. I also like that this episode had themes of like imperialism, colonialism, industrialization. But overall, like I didn't really like the characters. I thought that Chachina was really annoying. I didn't like that the older sister like suffered because of the younger sister. I also want to mention that it was Punk Robot Studios that made this, and they're from Chile. Another reason why I knocked this one a little bit lower on my list is because personally I am not a fan of stop action or stop motion. I've never really been a fan of it. It is just not my favorite animation style out there. So that's why it's number 9. My number 8 ranking is the Bandits of Golak. And I had very similar issues with this episode as I did in The Stars, with the characters just being really unlikable. I thought that Rani was really annoying, and again, I felt bad that her older brother was the one suffering because of her actions. She just kept making like the same mistakes, and I was just like very frustrated with her. I really felt for the older brother. As an older sibling, I felt for him. I thought that the city that they went to felt like Batuu. I was getting big Batuu vibes, so that was pretty cool. I thought that the Inquisitor was cool. I thought that he was a cool looking villain. I got these About Face liquid eyeshadows and I've been using them in my makeup kit and I am obsessed with them, so we're gonna use them today. I also want to mention that the Bandits of Golak is by 88 Pictures in India. Our number 7 ranking is Spy Dancer by Studio La Cachette. They're based in France. I also want to mention that Studio La Cachette also did a few episodes in Love, Death, and Robots, so that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought that it was a lot of fun. It felt very grounded to me. It felt like there was a big story happening here. I felt like this story could exist in Star Wars. And the reason why it ranked so low was because it was like almost there. Like some of the emotional beats just didn't hit for me. But I think this is one of those episodes that could really benefit from like double the runtime. Instead of 15 minutes, maybe this could have benefited from like 30 minutes. This is one of those episodes where I really wanted more. The character designs were cool. The story was really good. I really enjoyed it. You might have clocked it, but my look today is inspired by Loey. I didn't want to draw like a blue thing across my forehead, so this is kind of my interpretation of Loey. Number 6 is by Cartoon Saloon, and they're based in Ireland. And their episode is called SCREECHE'R's Reach. Again, this is one of those episodes that I really, really liked. I really liked the animation style. I really liked the story. I felt like it was very emotional. I also really liked the characters of this. Specifically this little guy. I don't know his name, but I love characters like him. I think that he's like really cute, and I think that kind of just reminds me of like how I probably was as a kid. I also like that we got this little metropolis moment, but when I was watching the episode, it didn't feel like a Star Wars episode. I mean, I really like the story. I really like that it felt like this folklore tale to me, but it felt like I could be watching any random cartoon on Cartoon Network. The lightsaber of the witch felt out of place to me. It probably would have worked more if it was like a wand from like Lord of the Rings or something. And I'm like wondering if the Jedi at the end, who I love that character design, it looked so cool. Does she look like a Sith? She kind of looked like a Sith, right? We only spent a little bit of time with these characters, but I already cared about them, and I was really sad that our main character left her friends. It was definitely the right choice, but I felt like a little sad for her friends, and it definitely made me wonder about their life after this moment. I think that's like the sad part about Visions is, you know, I kind of get attached to these characters and we're never gonna see them again. It's kind of heartbreaking, but also I think it's like a testament to the writing and the design team and the animation team to get us to care about these characters in such a short amount of time. So my number 5 episode is I Am Your Mother by Aardman Studios. Aardman is really well known for their animated movies Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit. I thought that this episode was so much fun. Like, it felt like an episode of Star Wars. It had a lot of clever Easter eggs and references. I mean, in the first scene, we get Wedge Antilles, picture of Harrison Duel in the back, the Mando helmet, Max Rebo. There are just so many little Easter eggs that just, I feel like, make this episode so fun. This episode felt very whole to me. It felt like so contained in its universe and so comfortable within itself as a story. This episode was so camp. Like, there's so much about it that was just camp. Like, there was one moment where it was like the 2 antagonists where I like looked at them and I was like, oh, their hair kind of reminds me of like the Darth Vader helmet, you know, like the shape of it. And then at the end, the mom's hair comes off her head. It's a wig. Like, her wig is literally like a helmet, like a Darth Vader helmet, because she's like the bad guy. Camp. I thought that was like so cute and so clever and funny. I also felt like this story was so relatable. We've all been embarrassed of our parents, even if our parents are really cool. It was very relatable. I thought that it was a really cute story. So we're into our top 4. I think that these top 4 are the standouts to me. Number 4 for me was The Pit, and it is a Lucasfilm and D'Art Chatijo Studio Studios, and they are based in Japan, and they've done a lot of stuff. They did a music video for The Weeknd. They've also done animation for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Attack on Titan, and Tokyo Ghoul, so they're a very well-established Japanese anime studio. And this is definitely another one of the episodes where I really wanted more from this story. Like, I wanted to like live in this universe a little bit longer. This is definitely one of the more serious in tones, underlying themes here of like classism, industrialization, the prison system, racism, etc. They have a lot going on in this story in just like such a short amount of time, which I thought was done really well and not like super in your face about it. The only thing about this episode, and the reason why it didn't rank a little bit higher on my list, why it's number 4 instead of like 3, it's kind of like unclear who our main character is like this whole episode actually. You know, we have who I think is our main character, but it's really kind of like unclear his relationship to the people in the pit. He is the one that like climbs out of the pit, and when he is K-worded by the Empire, it's really sad. But I think if we like followed him on his journey from starting at the pit, it would have like hit a little bit more in the heart. But that's like my only thing that I think would have made the episode a little bit deeper. But maybe that was like an artistic choice or like a directional choice they went in on purpose. Something else I really liked about this episode was how cruel the Empire was. I think because the Empire throughout the years has become kind of like, we're kind of used to the Empire. They're not really that scary. This episode really made the Empire kind of like heartless. I kind of like when we're reminded at like how serious the stakes are, and when the main character, like the brother or whoever, like died, that was pretty heavy. That was like serious. One reason I really liked this episode is this feeling of hope through the whole episode. Even though it was really dark and sad and tragic, it was very hopeful. And I think that is very Star Wars. Alright, so up next is my number 3 pick, and that is Au's Song by Triggerfish Studios in South Africa. I thought that it was so cute. And I honestly was a little surprised at how much I like this episode because it has very similar storytelling themes as my number 7 and my number 8 pick. And I think that they really nailed the character here with Au because she wasn't annoying. I thought that she was like really cute and just like curious, and I really liked that. Oh, I got makeup in my eye. My eye is turning red. I just keep getting makeup in my eye. Dude, my eye. Can you guys tell? And I really loved the character design. Ooh, that color was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that color. It's like I loved the little alien bear looking things, and I also loved the way the Jedi looked. I really loved the world building. This is definitely a world that I would love to spend more time in and hope that we revisit in future Star Wars because it was so beautiful. My eye is so irritated. I need more lip liner, more lip products. That's like the one area that I don't have like a lot of things in. Okay, let's get into my final 2. These 2 episodes were really hard to pick between. Honestly, they both could have been number 1 for me, but since I only had to pick one, and really it just came down to me picking which one I felt like the most excited about watching and rewatching again. So number 2, I ended up picking Sith by El Guri Studios. They're based out of Spain. Rewatchability is high for me. I thought the art style was very unique. It just felt like they were really pushing boundaries with this animation style. I really liked the story in this too. I like that she was the Sith and she was choosing her own destiny. I think that was like a really cool message for the kids, for us, for all of us, honestly. It had a lot of like surprise moments too, like when the droid opened up its eye into like this blaster. That was really cool. That was like pretty metal. I thought the character designs were really, really cool in this. I really like the designs of the Sith. I like how there's like this theme of good and bad. It's about embracing the darkness to let your light prevail. I thought that was really cool. I thought that her lightsaber hilt was really cool and unique. I thought that was pretty sick. It was a really good one to start with, I should say. So my number 1 top of the list pick for Vision Season 2 is Journey to the Dark Head. This is by Studio Mir. They are a South Korean studio, and they did a lot of work on Avatar: Legend of Korra. And I think it's interesting that both this episode and Sith have very similar themes in terms of finding balance in the Force, like finding the light and the dark within yourself, or I guess embracing the dark side as part of the light side. And honestly, now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense that I like those two episodes the most, because I am a Libra and I'm all about balance, so makes sense. I know that it wasn't really pushing any boundaries like in a way that the Sith episode was, but I really gravitate towards anime styles and like this kind of art style that Journey to the Dark Head had. I know that it's like South Korean, so it's technically not anime, but I love that style. It is just so beautiful, and I think that what they're able to do within that art style is phenomenal. Like what they did in this episode, so good. My favorite. I really loved their relationship with each other, that kind of like bickering, rival, you know, it's just, I love that trope. I think that it's really funny. I can see them being like really good friends for like the rest of their lives. I rewatched this episode. I did watch it in Korean. I really recommend rewatching the episodes in like the native language if possible. I think that it really adds like another layer to the viewing experience. There's just something about hearing it in the way that it was written. Very cool, very cool. I really liked the duel in this episode. It's so well done, and it was like half the episode. The colors, like reflecting on them, reflecting on all these surfaces, the stakes. Visually, it was just so beautiful. And I loved how at the end, when our Jedi defeats the Sith user, he just kind of like falls to his death, and then our main character girl just kind of comes and rescues him, and it is just like such a beautiful moment, such a great friendship moment, even though I kind of ship them, of course. I think I felt the most feelings when I watched this episode. Like I was really into it. I just think it was beautiful, and I love beauty. I love things that are beautiful, so that is why it's my number one. If you haven't already, comment your top 3 Star Wars Vision Season 2 episodes, or you can do all 9. That's fine. I would love to see what you guys thought about this season. I just feel so lucky that we're in this space of Star Wars right now to like get stories like this that are outside of like our Skywalker timeline, you know, because I feel like Star Wars is just such a vast universe. Have different cultures and experiences being brought into Star Wars, which I think is so important, considering that Star Wars is kind of like this hodgepodge of mixed cultures, and it's universal. Star Wars is so universal, and the Star Wars universe within itself is very multicultural and diverse. So I think it's really cool that we're getting that. I hope that we get a season 3. That's why I'm like, you guys, please go watch this season. Watch season 1 again, because season 1 is a banger. Tweet about it. Let people know that you love Star Wars Visions, so maybe we can get a season 3. Honestly, Star Wars Visions is such a treat. All right, and let me know what you guys think about my makeup. Even though my eyes are super red. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was so much fun. I would love to dive into depth of these episodes, so let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. I had a lot of fun ranking Star Wars Visions Season 2. That's enough for now, but I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, and may the Force be with you. Bye! I need to put eye drops in because this is... I wish I did this before I put on mascara, but it is what it is. Does it expire? These expired in 2018. Should I put them in my eye?